Hey guys, Patrick Wind here, and welcome to this training model in which I'm going to show you how to create advanced e-commerce audiences. When I talk about advanced e-commerce audiences, I'm referring to saved audiences, which every single Facebook advertiser could use independently of how much data they already collected upfront in their custom audiences and therefore get good quality in lookalike audiences. No. When we talk about advanced e-commerce audiences, these are saved audiences, which every single one could use from the very first moment on. I think it's a very interesting topic because it's a good way to get started with your prospecting campaigns, and so I'm looking forward to sharing my insights with you on that. Let's get started. We have already seen in a previous chapter the top 50 e-commerce audiences, a PDF. In this PDF, I have already demonstrated you that there are several audiences that we could find within those three categories of demographics, interests, and behaviors, right? And now let's dive into a more practical detail and let's set them up together. So let's get started. We're going to set up one for demographics, one for interests, and one for behaviors together. Actually, we're going to set up several of them. So let's get started. Create audiences. As we said, not a custom, not a lookalike, but a saved audience. We want to create all of them in Spain. So we leave everything as it is. That's also something that I recommend you. Try to pivot, try to be creative here on all of those elements, and then give it a name. So the first audience we want to create is a demographic one. However, we said it's interesting, it's important that they're always related to our industry. And let's make just a hypothetical example. Let's say we're selling watches, okay? So let's say we sell watches. So let's do this properly. Out of let's say worldwide, out of 2.1 billion monthly active users that Facebook has worldwide, the first filter we apply is Spain. So 28 million out of those 2.1 billion people are in Spain. So that's the first filter that we would apply. If you would now take only the men, see it's roughly the half women. Okay, and actually the difference between 13, 14, so 27 and 28 is people that have not declared their gender. We could also play around with the age. So we see, for example, out of the 28 million, 440,000 are exactly 18 years old, and so on and so forth. But in our case now, we're good with taking everyone here. We just apply the filter of Spain, for example. And what's super interesting for me, what I would recommend you is to also apply a filter for your industry, because if not, it's gonna be just too broad and it's not gonna be specific enough. So potential reach 3.4 million of people in Spain, both genders, all age groups, and that are interested in my specific industry. This could of course be everything. This could be sunglasses, whatever. Sunglasses. So out of the 28, we see even more people are interested in sunglasses. Let's say I'm selling jewelry. In Spain, even more people are interested in jewelry. But let's go with the watches example because it's nice to understand. Everyone knows the brands, and that's easy. Okay. So out of the 28 million people, 3.4 million in Spain are interested in watches. So far, so good. And let's get started with our first additional filter when it comes to demographics. What we want to do is we want to narrow down, right? We don't want to exclude, we want to narrow down our audience. And what does this do exactly? Well, it takes the current audience. So we said 3.4 million. It takes the 3.4 million. This would be this audience here. And it applies an additional filter, for example, a demographic, that we're going to apply right now, and it only maintains with the people that fulfill both criteria, right? So choose new targeting details to refine your audience from the people included above. So that's the first thing that we want to do. So out of the 3.4 million people, how many of them fulfill an additional criteria? For example, in demographics. We set demographics, life events, and here we could do, for example, friends of, well, close friends of people with birthday within a month. Okay. How much do we get? Well, 850,000. That's good, because we said we want to have a potential reach between 800,000 people and 1.5 million. So that's the goal, what we're aiming for. So this would be a very nice audience already to get started. I mean, we have people in Spain that are interested in watches, and they're close friends of people with birthdays within a month. Okay, it's very likely that they're gonna give as a present a watch to one of their close friends, right? So I think it's a good idea, and I would call it like gift audience or something like that, and to label it properly, give it a country code. So it's in Spain. We do not choose anything specific on age and gender, therefore I leave it blank. However, we used watch as an interest, and we also used another interest, friends of people with birthday within 1 month. And then I also like to add the actual audience size that I get here, and that was it. So that would be our first audience, create audience, and it shows up already here. Okay, it's still populating, but it's 850,000. Now we can create also a second variation of that, and we could of course just do create audience, saved audience, and start completely from scratch. That's something we could do, but there is a more advanced way, a faster way to do it is if you select this one, actions, edit, okay? And now, I mean, basically gives you here the possibility to edit this specific audience. Let's say, for example, okay, 850,000, but I was only interested in men, okay, which is too small, okay? But I could just update it, and if I click on update, it would overwrite the original audience, and it would just take the man, but it's not what I'm interested in. I'm actually interested in creating a completely new one. For example, let's say everyone who's interested in watches, but just if they are below 40 years. So the younger audience. So okay, we said let's make it even smaller. Even smaller. 30. Okay, let's make it 29, so it's below 30. Okay, nice. This would be an option, 1.2 million, and this is of course not any more friends within birthday. Now we defined it clearer with 18 to 29 years. So that's the difference. So 1.2 million people. And we could now, instead of update, if you would click update, it would overwrite the other one. Therefore, I want to save it as new. When you save it as new, just delete the copy, save, and you already have two very nice audiences created. Cool, right? So let's continue, because we also want to create audiences based on interests and audiences based on behavior. So we could once again start from scratch, but it's even faster to always take this as a first one and then just edit and save as new. So now what we want to do is we want to test different interests. We like the title is going to be similar, but we just adapted to the interest. It's in Spain. Here's everything the same. Okay, good. So when it comes to interests, we could choose one of those specific ones, whatever suits you. That's an option. You can choose here and then just click on one specific one. That is an option. Or you can simply I have many of them. Let's close that and make it from scratch. So action, edit. Or what's faster than just trying to search for the specific one here, browse interests. You could choose one specific one, you can click on that, but this does not give you all the options that there are in interests. So you can also just type in here what you're looking for example watch, okay, and you have see here several options that include the letters watch, okay. For example, let's say we're producing a watch that is actually it's a smartwatch, so let's say smartwatch. How many people do we have? 950,000. That's already good. So people are interested in something that's like a smartwatch. 950,000. It's between the 800,000 and 1.5 million. So that's good. We could actually save that, and it's basically just smartwatch 950,000, and we can save it as a new one. Nice. So we have our third interest-based audience here. Let's take now the smartwatch, edit it, and come up with a new variation of that. Let's say, okay, it's a smartwatch, but it's actually super expensive. So therefore, it's also likely that people who like Rolex actually purchase my watch. It's almost 800,000, so if it's plus or minus 20 or 50,000, you should not carry too much. So, but it should be not 100,000. It should be not 20,000. So if it's close to the 800,000, you're good. So smartwatch in Spain, it's not smartwatch anymore. It's now Rolex, and it's 780,000. Okay, save as new. Don't click on update because it will overwrite the other one. Be careful with that. So it's nice. We have already created 4 options. We have created the option of when it comes to demographics. We have created 2 options when it comes to interests. And now we would also like to create options for behavior. So let's do that. What could be an interesting behavior? And when it comes to behavior, it's super important that we once again apply our general industry filter. So everyone who's interested in watches, okay? And we said it's in Spain 340,000, 3.4 million people. And then we want to narrow down the audience. And let's give it here this filter of behavior. For example, what we really like here is purchase behavior, engaged shoppers, right? And if you're not sure what it is exactly, you can just read here the description. People who have clicked on the call to action button, shop now, in the past week. So that's actually a very good one, okay? So we're gonna, oh, and also the audience size is very good. So 1.5 million, and it is watch engaged shoppers. And we see here Spain, people are interested in watches and are also engaged shoppers, right? So that's a killer one. That's actually a very good audience. The audience size is broad. That gives us enough space to improve for the algorithm. That is very good. Engaged shoppers, interested in watches. Also not click update, click save as new. So that's a very, very interesting audience for you. And of course you have to adopt this one, like if it's optimized for watch or sunglasses or jewelry or whatever you sell, okay? And give you one further behavior that could be interesting for you. You see now it's fast. We just have to change this one down here. Something that I play around a lot is actually this one. People who are Facebook page admins, okay? People who are an admin of at least one page on Facebook. I also like that a lot because for me it's an indicator if someone is a very digital person, therefore is likely to purchase online. Also the audience size is good, 1.1 million, but it's not engaged shoppers now, it's Facebook page admins. Nice, and we can now save as new. And we have created already 6 killer e-commerce audiences, okay? 2 interest-based one, 2 demographic ones, 2 interest-based ones, and 2 behavior ones. And there is one last audience I would like to share with you, which is a special one, saved audience. which does not fall into the category of demographics, interests, or behavior. No, it's another one. It's actually here. So it's Facebook, so it's within connections, okay? Facebook pages, friends of people who like your page. So for example, we could take here my page, and it will give you all, interesting. So 150,000 people in Spain are friends of people who like my page. So that's of course not going, that's of course right now within the 800,000 to 1.5 million, but it's what it is what it is, because I don't have more fans in this moment. That's something that could also happen to you. However, if you're big and the friends of fans is already, let's say, is already 10 million, you could then narrow it down to just men or just women. You see, then you just have to narrow it down so it reaches the between 800 and 1.5 million. And if your potential reach still is not big enough, then just leave it as it is here, everything broad, and just take it as it is. So it's still in Spain, friends of fans, and then the size, and we're good to go. Create audience, and we have created our 7th killer e-commerce audience, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing the results of you guys when applying them to your own campaigns, and especially ad sets, of course. And I'm looking forward to seeing the next video. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.